Good morning. Good afternoon. My name is Edward Sanshin Oberholtzer. I'm the resident priest and guiding teacher at the Joseph Priestley Zen Sangha here in Lewisburg, Pennsylvania. We're part of Empty Moon Zen. It's been a long, hot summer, even if only officially for the last week and a half. And here in Pennsylvania, it's a hot, sticky, and smoke-filled summer day. And the heat and the sun put me in mind of my days some 50 years ago as a lifeguard, a summer job I had right after high school. It was a summer filled mainly with shouting at teenagers, not all that much younger than I, shouting at them to slow down on the concrete, of policing the occasional cannonball into water too shallow and too crowded, of watching out for kids sinking beneath the chlorine-scented waters of a suburban pool. One of my tasks, as someone with presumably some ability in rescuing drowning victims, was to act as a drowning victim myself during the final skills exam for the Red Cross life-saving course that we ran each summer. I tread water in the deep end of the pool, and the designated student would dive in, swim to where I just sunk to the bottom of the pool, put me in a cross-chest carry, haul me to the side of the pool, and then heave me up onto the deck. My job was to make this as difficult as possible. Drowning, after all, need not be a passive activity. A drowning person may grab onto anything available in their struggle to climb up to the air, flailing, clutching, treating the would-be rescuer as a convenient stepladder to get to the surface, shoving them down in order to pull themselves up into the air. Sound vaguely familiar? For a drowning victim, it's natural and completely understandable, and so, unfortunately, and all too often, is our tendency to pull ourselves up while pressing others down in the treacherous waters of our social environment. A natural tendency which the 7th of the 10 grave precepts warns us of. Subtle and mysterious, as Bodhidharma would have it, and outside the confines of a swimming pool, one that often slips by without our noticing. So subtle might it be. You know the drill. I hate to point out what might be just a minor faux pas on their part. Think nothing of it. They really can't help themselves, just doing my part, as it were, just being a good citizen, employee, Sangha member. Other grave precepts are not to be so easily missed. I just got back from some time in Scotland, and nothing brings that first grave precept, do not kill, quite to mind like sitting down to a breakfast with a large slice of blood pudding. It might seem as though the instinct to climb over whatever you can to take a breath is, well, perhaps dramatic, no less natural than to, in a moment of unconsciousness, take the credit for the good, while pointing, however subtly, to the failures of others. But of course it's not always, it's rarely as stark as drowning. Often it's a quiet, simple holding oneself forth, sometimes without even the need to point it out to others, the disparagement and elevation, a moment entirely private, something for internal consumption. We can raise ourselves in our own estimation quite easily, thank you, just as easily as we assign faults to others in our own minds. Our ancestor, Bodhidharma, points to how vital to navigating this precept is the recognition of our interconnectedness with all creation, but especially with our fellows. As Bodhidharma put it in laying out the 7th grave precept, self-nature is inconceivably wondrous. In the realm of the equitable Dharma, not dwelling upon I and you is called the precept of not elevating yourself while abusing others. Buddhas and ancestral teachers realize the empty sky and the great earth. When they manifest the noble body, there is neither inside nor outside in emptiness. When they manifest the Dharma body, there is not even a bit of earth on the ground. Our ancestor, Eihei Dogen, in his fascicle Kyojukaimon, wrote on the seventh grave precept, not elevating oneself by blaming others, Buddhas and teachers realize absolute emptiness and realize the great earth. When the great body is manifested, there is neither outside nor inside in emptiness. When the Dharma body is manifested, there is not even a single square inch of soil on the earth. And here, Bodhidharma and Dogen point us to a path, to an understanding of our day-to-day encounters with this seventh grave precept. You and I, drowning victim and lifeguard, malefactor and observer, we are all one. And of course, at the same time, in the same place, we are all different. Rescuer and rescued, self and other, each one and the same. And I beg to differ with the great Dogen. When the Dharma body is manifested, there is indeed a square inch of soil on this earth. Without that square inch of soil, there would be no Dharma body. Drowning victim and rescuer, one and the same. Look around you. Here in central Pennsylvania, I find a unique set of circumstances. I'm surrounded by people who belittle much that I hold dear, condemning expertise, scoffing at science, at environmental damage, wrapped up in the worship of guns, pickup trucks, and Budweiser. And the world outside the Susquehanna Valley seems filled by people who climb over one another's backs to get ahead. We are entering a new election cycle which seems purpose-made to encourage that behavior, and men and women by the scores flocked to take advantage of the opportunity. Social media seems to be tailor-made to exploit that tendency, and in all of this, as if to illustrate the precept, here am I, elevating myself and disparaging all of those others. It's truly insidious how easily it slips my noticing. Immanuel Kant once noted that we should treat our fellow man not as a means only. That only brings with it a world of questions. To what extent are others merely rungs on a ladder? Where does stepping on that rung become abuse? So here's the invitation. Look deep within. That arrogant snob lurks within. God knows it does with me. The temptation to cross the line from a quiet, judicious recognition of another's shortcomings and cross over to the I'm so much better than that. This is strong. Drowning victim, lifeguard, one and the same. That person desperately clamoring over others in the race to the top. He, she is clamoring over themselves. And that goal, that final prize, that gasp of air, it's right here, right now. He, she, you, me, we've always had it. I don't know about you, but I find increasingly that the precepts are less a guide to correct, skillful behavior, though God knows they are that, than they are an invitation to examine the world and our place in that world, in their light. And here, the subtle and mysterious gift of the precepts, the ethics, the morality of it all follows along almost imperceptibly. They're permeating our lives almost without the intention of it being there. As we swim through the vast and often murky sea of our life, sometimes drowning, sometimes treading water, victim and rescuer, and victim again. We are all one. Buddhas and ancestral teachers realize the empty sky and the great earth when they manifest the noble body. There is neither inside nor outside in emptiness. When they manifest the Dharma body, there is not even a bit of earth on the ground, or for that matter, in a suburban swimming pool. Thank you.